Good evening. I would like to welcome everyone to the February 10th council meeting of the City of Mayfield Heights. May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Balestria.
Present.
Mr. Mano.
Here.
Mr. Medic.
Here.
Mr. Minor.
Here.
Mrs. Sabetta.
Here.
Mrs. Snyder.
Here.
Ms. Tobin.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next is the approval of the minutes from the January 27th council meeting. I hope everyone's had time to read those minutes over. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Moved by Mr. Minor
Second.
and second by Mrs. Sabetta. Are there any suggested changes or deletions to those minutes? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? These minutes have now been approved. At this time, does any member of council have any correspondence or announcements? Mrs. Sabetta.
Thank you, Madam President. The Chagrin River Watershed Partnership, their quarterly meeting will be held via Zoom on February 20th at 4 p.m. I can share the link if any of the mayor, council, or department heads. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other correspondence from council? Okay. We will now move to reports of the officers, starting with the mayor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everyone. Just a quick, and I'm sure Don will probably, Councilman Mann will probably expand on this. We are having an all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast Saturday, March 9th, from 8 to 12 at the ACC, and you can call Parks and Rec for details and tickets. Just some information on Community Partnership on Aging. I just want to make sure all of our residents know what is available to them, and one of our biggest programs that our community takes advantage of, I should say, is our partnership with the Senior Transportation Connection. It's a great opportunity for the homebound, if they have no way to get around, to arrange for transportation. So you can call CPA at our extension here, 440-442-2626, extension 244, and you can get on the mailing list for their newsletter, arrange transportation, and get all the necessary information you need to arrange for those rides. And also, with tax season being here, CPA has partnered with AARP Foundation once again to provide free, simple federal and state income tax preparations for anyone, but with a focus on adults over 50 with moderate to lower income. So you can make appointments by calling 216-848-0594. And then also, CPA also offers a home-delivered meals service for homebound seniors, 60 years or older. And you could call 440-449-3551 for more information. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the mayor? Okay. Director of Finance, or Director of Law, Mr. Schmidlin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It was a busy day for the Law Department today. However, the only thing I would suggest is due to the keen eye of yourself and to Ms. Sabetta, there was a clerical error in 2025-04, and I would suggest when that comes up tonight that we put it on first reading to give us an opportunity to revise it and to hopefully have the Legislative Committee look at it as well, which is coming up soon, on the 12th, but it might have to be rescheduled to accommodate for Kathy. So please put that on first reading.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Schmidlin? Director of Finance, Mrs. Scully, is absent this evening. Does the mayor have a report from her, or?
No.
Okay. We will now move to the Department of Directors. Is there any director here this evening that would like to give a report? They're all here. Okay, thank you. We will now move to reports from the committees, commissions, and boards, beginning with the Building Committee. Mr. Maddock.
Thank you, Madam President. The Building Committee did not meet, so I do not have a report.
Thank you. Finance and Audit Committee, Mr. Minor.
We did not meet, so I do not have a report.
Okay. Thank you. For Legislative Committee, Mrs. Sabetta.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, as chair of this committee, I will be looking to reschedule due to illness, and we are missing two important people that we need. So it was Wednesday, this Wednesday at 9:30, and I will be looking to reschedule. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Public Works and Service, Mr. Balistreo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. No report from the committee, but I am scheduling a meeting for this Wednesday, February 12th at 6 p.m. in these chambers. We did receive the summary report back from AECom through the engineering group, and we're going to discuss the results of the dye testing from that report at that meeting. Following the recommendations from the committee, I will ask the chair to maybe schedule a committee of the whole meeting to discuss the ramifications of that report. So all the council is present. We probably would need to discuss where the problems have occurred on the public and private side, and what a plan of action that would be we can devise for our residents going forward.
Okay.
Okay?
We can talk about that Wednesday after the meeting.
Right.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Recreation and Parks, Mr. Mano.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Park and Recreation Department and Commission are very excited to host the Taste of Italy this coming Saturday. There's only a few tickets left. It's a premier event that the city has each year, and well worth being there. So I'm looking forward to having a great evening, and everybody should enjoy themselves quite a bit. Join us on Sunday, March the 9th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. for our pancake breakfast. Advanced tickets can be purchased from a council person or by visiting the Aquatic and Community Center. Adults are $9, $10 at the door. Children ages 6 to 12 are $6. Children 5 and under are free. The menu is pancakes, blueberry pancakes, gluten-free pancakes, French toast, sausage, juice, and coffee. Resident registration is set to open for day camp, teen camp, swim lessons, and pool passes on Sunday, March 9th at the Aquatic and Community Center from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. More details will be available soon on the website for these programs and in the spring and summer activities and living guide coming soon to your mailbox. After you register, stop by the pancake breakfast. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mano. Any questions? Okay. Safety and Transportation, Mrs. Talbin is not here this evening, so Mr. Balistreo?
No report.
Okay, thank you. And Board of Zoning, Mrs. Sabetta.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, the Board of Zoning Appeals did meet on January 28th for a special organizational meeting. The board elected new chairman, Joe Brunello. Board welcomed new members, Adam Eisenberg, Matt Slane, and Andy Teller. The discussion was on policy, procedures, and the process with a question and answer session. It was a good meet and greet. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Mrs. Sabetta? And Planning Commission, Mr. Balistreo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Planning Commission did not have an agenda, therefore I have no report.
Okay, thank you. We will now proceed to the public portion of the meeting, and pursuant to city code, each person will be allotted 5 minutes to speak, with a maximum of 30 minutes allotted for the entire public portion. If you are here in connection with an agenda item, this is your opportunity to speak. During the public portion, I will call each person wishing to speak to the podium. Please state your name and address for the record, and speak clearly into the microphone. It is now 7:15, and I will open up the public portion. I would like to welcome Ms. Janice Baker and Ms. Joan Gottschling. Yeah.
Gottschling, 431 Creekside, Mayfield Heights. I'm also the president of the Mayfield Township Historical Society, and this is...
I'm Janice Baker, 6515 Annandale.
And
Hi.
I'm vice president.
we're here to thank you for your generous...
Can you
Turn the mic on.
turn the mic on? Just push the button.
There you go.
And we're here to thank you for your continued and generous support of the Mayfield Township Historical Society. Go ahead.
1819. And then it was about 100 years later when the communities separated. And those communities were Mayfield Heights, Mayfield Village, Highland Heights, Gates Mills, and there was a little eastern edge of Lyndhurst that was included in the township originally. One of the things that we do for Mayfield, in April and May of every year, except during COVID, we have about 350 children, the third graders from the Mayfield schools. St. Francis Catholic schools, private, it doesn't matter. It's all the third graders from the Mayfield area. 350 is a lot of kids, but we divide them into groups of about 50. So between 1 or 2 times a week, April and May, we have these 50 kids at a time come through the house. We follow their curriculum as far as the timeline goes. The Bennett Van Kuren House is where the Historical Society is. It was actually built in 1847 by Jacob Bennett. The house was moved from the area near Yours Truly Restaurant to 606 Psalm Center Road, where the big white house with the white picket fence all the way around it, across from Whitehaven Cemetery. And we have various rooms. We have 13 rooms. They are from 1805, we have a log cabin, to 1930. It's like a very interesting grandma's kitchen look. I learned that kids did not have to do homework. I also learned that the dads made toys for their kids. My favorite part was the schoolhouse because I like learning about school back then. I hope I can come back soon. And that was Sophia.
Show the picture.
Oh yeah, she's a very cute picture, likes to draw. Whoops, sorry. Okay, just one more. Dear Historical House, thank you for letting everyone come to look around at all the old artifacts. That's quite a word for a third grader. My favorite place was the log cabin because the house was cute, neat, the blankets were soft, and I loved the toys that were there. Sincerely, Megan. She didn't draw a picture, but she had very nice handwriting. So, the Bennett Van Kuren House, as I said, was built in 1847, and your donation helps us keep the house up and running and allowing not only the school children to come, but other visitors. You can come too if you want. We are open most Mondays, or by calling if you need a special tour. We are most Mondays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're at 606 Psalm Center Road. It's Mayfield Village, but as I said, we are all 4 communities. We're across from Whitehaven Cemetery. Okay, Joan?
We also have 6 meetings a year where we provide speakers who talk on various topics, and sometimes we have to pay them, and sometimes we get it for free. This month, actually next Wednesday, we're having Bob DeBasio from the Guardians. He's the VP of Marketing, come and talk all about the season, some of the backstories he can tell us. And then next month, Jeff Heinen, the Jeff Heinen is going to come and tell us a Heinen story. So I think we need a bigger venue for that one. We also care and maintain all of our archival items that are donated. We have fabrics, books, all kind of things like that. So we have to buy special archival equipment for that, and we train our docents. And we also have social events like our ice cream social. And then we also look for volunteers. And I know you're in the community, and you're talking to people all the time. If somebody's retired or looking for something to do, you can say, hey, you should go down to the historic house. They have a whole list of things you could do there. An hour a week, an hour a month, we'll take whatever we can get. So thank you again for your continued support, and we appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice and Joan, for all that you both do. What time are your meetings on Wednesdays? 7, okay.
Second Wednesday of the month.
Okay. Is that the quilt raffle? When's your quilt raffle?
At one time,
Yes,
once a year, we have a quilt raffle.
right,
They're at the Mayfield Village Community Room.
okay. Perfect, thank you. All right, is there anyone,
During an emergency.
is there a motion to suspend the rules?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Sabetta, and second by Mr. Balistreo. Roll call on the motion to suspend.
Mr. Mano.
Yes.
Mr. Balestria.
Yes.
Mr. Medic.
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta.
Yes?
Mr. Minor.
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Moved by Mr. Medic,
Second?
and second by Mrs. Sabetta. All members of council should have received an email from Nick Police, as well as a proposal explaining the need for updating the city computers. The proposal listed the various departments that need to be replaced and upgraded. The plan moving forward would be to get on a schedule to replace these computers regularly so that the costs could be managed better in the future. The total cost is $48,007.69. The purchase would be through DataServe Integration, who is already contracted through the city. Does any member of council have any questions about this resolution? No? Okay. Roll call on the motion to approve.
Mr. Medic.
Yes.
Mr. Minor.
Yes.
Mr. Balestria.
Yes.
Mr. Mano.
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta.
Yes?
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. This resolution has been adopted. We will now move to resolution number 2025-06.
Madam Chair, if I could, before you ask for a motion, I would, as sponsor of this resolution, I would like to withdraw it. There's information, there's a chance, I should say, that the city could save some money on this contract, so I think we should withdraw it. I want to withdraw it, and then we can come back later with a different proposal.
Okay. All right, thank you. So we will now move to resolution number 2025-07.
Madam Chair, 2025-07, a resolution authorizing all actions necessary to accept Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council, NOPEC, 2025 Energized Community Grants and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Sabetta
Second.
and second by Mr. Balistreo. Roll call on the motion to suspend.
Mrs. Sabetta.
Yes?
Mr. Minor.
Yes.
Mr. Mano.
Yes.
Mr. Medic.
Yes.
Mr. Balestria.
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Moved by Mr. Medic and second by Mrs. Sabetta. This resolution will authorize the city to accept the NEC grant for 2025 and will authorize the mayor to execute this grant agreement with no.
That's very specific.
How about
Thank
that?
I like that. That's good. Where'd you pull that
You
out?
asked.
All right, any further questions or comments? All right, roll call on the motion to approve.
Mr. Balestria.
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta.
Yes?
Mr. Medic.
Yes.
Mr. Minor.
Yes.
Mr. Mano.
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes, this resolution has been approved. Resolution number 2025-08, Mr. Schmidlin.
Number 2025-08, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an amendment to the agreement with Glaus, Pyle, Schomer, Burns, and DeHaven, Inc., DBA GPD Group, to provide professional engineering services for the Larchmont Drive emergency pavement repair in the city and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Is there a motion to suspend the rules? Moved by Mr. Mano
Move.
and second by Mr. Bellistrea. Roll call on the motion to suspend.
Mr. Minor,
Yes.
Mr. Medic,
Yes.
Mr. Mano,
Yes.
Mr. Bellistrea.
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta,
Yes?
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Moved by Mr. Medic
Second.
and second by Mrs. Sabetta. All members of council should have received the pavement repair estimate and the scope of the project. This is needed to repair the water main break on Larchmont. GPD is the engineering service that we utilize for this project. The proposal was in the amount of $8,184, prepared by Nick Feeney, and he is here this evening to answer any questions from council if you should have any. Mr. Minor.
Nick, just a quick question.
Oh, I did have a question.
Just in line with some of the other conversations we've had around repairs and things around the city, when looking at this project, was there anything that you guys noticed or would suggest that we add to this project before we repave the street?
No, I mean, the proposal includes the repair of the entire pavement area above the break, so.
Okay, well, it's just above the break. I was just curious, based on the length of the street and the water line that we replaced, if you guys would suggest that while it's open, we do anything else down there.
No, not at this time. I mean, the
Okay.
correct time to do that would be under, a roadway capital project. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that was my only question. Thanks.
Anything further from council? Okay, thank you. Roll call on the motion to approve.
Mrs. Sabetta,
Yes.
Mr. Mano,
Yes.
Mr. Bellistrea,
Yes.
Mr. Minor.
Yes.
Mr. Medic,
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes, this resolution has been adopted.
Yeah, I know.
Resolution number 2025-09, Mr. Smedlin.
Thank you. Number 2025-09, a resolution awarding a contract to Fabrizi Trucking and Paving Company for the 2025 Larchmont Drive emergency pavement repair and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
Moved.
Moved by Mr. Minor
Second.
and second by Mr. Bellistrea. Roll call on the motion to suspend.
Mr. Mano,
Yes.
Mr. Bellistrea,
Yes.
Mr. Medic,
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta,
Yes?
Mr. Minor.
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes, is there a motion to approve?
Move.
Moved by Mr. Bellistrea
Second.
and second by Mr. Minor. This resolution is to accept the bid and award the project to Fabrizi Trucking and Paving for repairing the water main break on Larchmont. The cost of the project is $50,436. There were 3 bids for this project, and we went with the lowest bid. The work will be completed within 10 to 14 days. Does any member of council have any further questions about this? Okay. Roll call on the motion to approve.
Mr. Medic,
Yes.
Mr. Minor,
Yes.
Mr. Bellistrea,
Yes.
Mr. Mano,
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta,
Yes?
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. Resolution number 2025-09 has been approved. We will move to ordinances, beginning with 2025-04, which Mr. Schmidlin has recommended that we put on first reading this evening.
2025-04, an ordinance amending section 133.04 of the codified ordinance of the city titled Assistant Directors of Law. No?
You're going.
We're asking a question. Go ahead. Is that it?
That's it.
Oh. Yeah, yes. This will be placed on first reading. Okay. All right, we will now move to motions, which there aren't any this evening. Any new business from council? Okay.
Yep, I got one thing.
Oh, Mr. Mano?
I should have asked you that when you gave your report. Notice there's a lot of streetlights throughout the city that are out. And I know it's a process getting those fixed, but do you have any idea at all when they might start to address that? There's a lot of them out.
Chuck, you have any idea on that?
I can say I called on one the other day, and they were out the next day and fixed it.
Really?
And if people have streetlights noticeable out, they can contact the Public Works Department.
That's correct. So we drove the streets the last month and a half now. We've marked them. It is a process. You have to turn them in one by one. They're out there. They don't give us any time frame. Unfortunately, this time of the year, it's all weather-based and when they can show up. They're pretty diligent about getting them done, though, once they start. So
Thank you.
we'll stay on them.
All right.
Thank you. All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Sabetta and second by Mr. Minor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?